a week away or so, for most of us at least. So hopefully that's exciting. Got some good plans, but we wanted to just start off with shout outs and just kind of just sharing what you're doing. So it could be a shout out, it could be sharing student work, it could be sharing an activity you did. Like I know there's a Black History Month poetry slam or kind of like a competition at Henry that happened last week. I was going to give a shout out to Kellyanne, Kiba, and Weiss because I was able to see a pretty cool program happening at their school this week where they call it the Buddy Program, where fifth graders were mentoring second graders, and they're all working on Writers Matters projects together. And it was just really cool to see how older students were able to, and they also had kids grouped by language as well. So there was a group that was speaking Portuguese in the back, which I thought was unique because they were fifth graders and second graders, but they were able to speak Portuguese to each other and work on their writing projects, which I just thought that was really a great way to utilize, just the diversity and the culture between your two classes, and also to see in the writing and how excited they were to be able to share, like, what it'll be like in a few years, and they were doing their brainstorm of what they want to do and what they want to become. So it was really nice to see them engaging in that way. So if they were on, I was going to pass it over to them, but I'll go back to them if I see them jump on again. But it was just a great way to work across grade levels and to really use Writers Matter as that tool to be able to connect kids that are, 3 or 4 years difference in age. So shout out to the work that's happening there, snap it up. But I will unmic now, and then really anybody can jump in and just talk about all the great stuff you're doing.
Okay, and I will stop sharing too, and I will make sure that there is access for other people to share if you have something you want to share, or if you just want to talk, that's fine too. So,
oh, and then one more thing too. Shout out to Andre. I see you're on the call. You can talk about this. I saw him do a whole concert, and it was amazing. I think I'm like the last person to actually see the concert happen. I've seen him do after school programming and other things, but seeing the actual, it wasn't just a concert, but students actually sharing their pieces and him encouraging and having DJ Will there. Like, I don't want to mess that up either, so I'll let you talk about it. But that was also really awesome to see at Moore as well. So shout out to Andre. Take your time, Carl.
yeah. And hi to those that just hopped on. We just a couple housekeeping things. Just want to let you know we are recording this so that we can send it out to everybody after, because we'll be announcing the writing contest in a little bit. And we're just kind of starting off by hearing from everyone and sharing what's been going on at your school, things that you've been working on, any kind of celebrations, challenges, awesome lessons, student writing, anything at all. So we're going to just turn it over to everybody to start with that.
Hey, I can start.
Okay, great.
Our students have been working on they worked on for a while, I Am. So we had a mini poetry slam in the middle of our African American history assembly, and Andre's been coming out monthly to work with the kids, like with the creative part of it. We've been kind of doing it as a team for the past few visits. So, and the kids are really excited about it. It's with third, fourth, and fifth graders, and it was the fourth graders who were featured. Their poetry was featured, and they did such an awesome job. So they created slides to go along with their I Am poems. We did kind of like I've been going in and doing like a writing lab kind of thing. So they get to share in class and to have music behind them, and they really got into it to create some really beautiful poetry. And what I like most about, I do have some that I can share. The only thing is I don't remember how to share on Zoom, so you have to talk me through it. I do have some slides to share, but all of the students were willing to participate. And these are students who have been deemed as reluctant writers and students who are shy. everybody got into it. So it made me really, really happy to see them blossom through their poetry. It's really good.
Well, and if you want to share, there's a button on the bottom.
Mhm.
If you kind of move your mouse around, you should see like a toolbar pop up on the bottom. If it says share screen,
Okay.
if you click on that and you have it open, you should be able to click on the screen you want to share. You can
Okay.
also email me if you can't figure it out, and I can share it for you. We can come back if needed.
Okay. Let me see. Can I share it with, it's a Google slideshow. Can I just share it with you?
Yep. Yes, that works too. And if you just joined, I think a few people just hopped on. We're just sharing out. Hey, Aubrey, just sharing out just things that we've done, it's success, sharing, talking about your teammates or sharing student work or things that have been happening at your school in the past few weeks.
Okay, I just shared it, so you should have it.
Can you actually share it in the chat?
Yes.
This is also the quietest I've ever seen the Writers Matter group so far. I'm trying to give it time. I know it's going to pop in a minute, so I'm trying to hold off from saying anything, but I know spring break is almost here, y'all. You're doing great. I don't even know what you're doing, but I know you're doing great because you're still here. It is March 20th, so I get it. All right, so I do have that worked. So let me is there sound with that too?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
And the first slide is blank. So I think I've got
Okay.
4 or 5 examples.
Cool. All right. You should be able to see. I see it's loading.
Mm.
All right.
We can see it now.
Okay. So I chose a range of students just because I was so impressed with what they did, and they were very excited to share. Andre worked with them on how to like really make it a performance, and they loved that. This student is outgoing, very talkative, but very like extroverted. And she had an awesome time with this poem.
Wow. Wow.
And they did these poems like in a matter of, we did it over 2 sessions, but when they're like their first drafts, it was really amazing to see them get right to work, to talk about themselves. I modeled an example of how you do it, and they just took off.
This is great.
Mm.
I am loving the I am my mom's broke best friend.
Yeah.
I feel like I could say that right back to my own kids. Right? Oh, this is really good though. Yeah.
And this is 4th grade.
I love the positivity in it too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think this is great. Like the juxtaposition. Like I love being neat, but hate cleaning my room.
Right.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, what she said. Like I'm bored, but a blossom. Yeah. So there's just a lot of nice wordplay. I don't know if
Yeah.
that was Andre's influence, but it definitely has a lot of great wordplay in this one.
I like, I feel like this,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I feel like this
No.
student is probably really confident. And I
Yeah.
like that.
And but very, very kind with it, like so sweet. Like, but I didn't know all of this about her. Like I didn't know she had this much, all this personality. This,
Hmm.
but I loved it. And this young man, he struggles a little bit, but he really shined, and he was one of the first ones, the first time
Black
to
boy,
get
joy.
up and
I love it.
share.
Fractions and patterns. Hmm.
Was there any significance deeper than just maybe a love for math or what he's working on with the fractions and patterns?
No, I think he just likes math.
Okay.
That's his thing.
That's a cooler way to say than
Yeah.
that I like math,
Yeah.
or just a more expressive and
Yeah,
I was like, or was that week's unit or?
they are working on fractions, so I
Yeah.
guess it was on his mind.
I like that, yeah.
And he's getting steak and rice on Fridays. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
And Carl said, all right with the black boy joy.
Boy, joy.
I thought that was
Yeah.
cute. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
And this young lady is I was really proud of her. She is very to herself and kind of shy,
That's romantic.
but she was willing to get up and share in front of the class, and and be vulnerable, and about telling corny jokes. And I love that I am soft pillows and cozy cut, like.
Yeah.
And this was their first time, so I don't think they even realize how talented they are. They are working on figurative language, as you'll see this in different ones. And this young man has a lot of personality. Sometimes a little too much personality for his classroom. He can be very entertaining. But I loved what he said.
Another black boy joy.
You know, I see in here a lot of what I would say showing, not telling, which is actually something I'm going to talk about in a little bit today. Was that like a lesson that you did with them, or was that something that you were emphasizing? Just because it's really obvious, I think, in all the pieces, in the way that they describe things instead of just saying something.
I didn't focus on that on purpose, but when I modeled, I did on the board, and when I modeled it, I didn't realize they just picked up, they saw, and then and wrote it in that same tone.
That's awesome.
And this young man is kind of serious about everything. He's very popular and very confident. Nice guy.
Yeah.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Then now the only thing we did tell them was I always tell them go deep, like go beyond just surface stuff, and they took me up on it. Really
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. This was great.
Wow.
Oh, I have like follow-up questions. What is this pain we're talking
I
about?
know.
Yeah. Or chaos.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love that follows happiness, and then following pain is friendship. It's really, yeah, it shows how dynamic our young learners really are, and how in tune they are with their emotions and what's going on.
Yeah.
And this is such a great outlet too. Like it'd be nice to see your prompt as well, because I know you mentioned that your prompt had, or your
The
your
model.
modeling had, yeah, it'd be nice to see that. Do you have it? Do you have it? Do you have it on you, or is it
You know what? No, I just did
okay,
it like
on
off
the
the
board?
fly on the
Okay.
whiteboard. I'll see. I have to see if the teacher still has it, but I don't think I can't even remember everything I said, but I wanted them to see it. They just really took off with it.
Last clown.
And this is I think this is the last one. He's really quiet and to himself.
Wow.
And kind of a loner.
Mm-hmm.
But no one's alone,
Yeah,
right? Like
nobody
that's
can
cool.
have somebody.
Yeah.
So it was surprising to see him because he doesn't really talk to a whole lot of people.
Hmm.
So it's nice to see that.
This is the last one.
Yes, that's the last one.
That's
So
great.
that's
Thank you so much for
some of
sharing.
our babies.
Yeah.
My babies.
Yeah.
And Andre's babies, they love it when he comes. They love to perform for him and love to get his input. So thank you so much.
Well, based off of what you said, I think that's just such a testament to the power of the modeling that you do as a teacher, because, you know, the fact that you did that, I think it was really shown in those pieces. So great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, I guess I'll go next if it's cool.
Yep.
So I actually did this back in December. I wanted to share it, but then we were in person and, blah, blah, blah. And here we are in March. But anyway, this was the We Are From. And the reason why I wanted to share the We Are From, I know I've been doing this for years, the I Am From, and then we do a couple of We Are Froms. But this year I actually changed it up and I did something different. And I thought it worked out really well. I think I mentioned it before, what I was doing, but I hadn't gotten to it yet, which was we have 3 sets of tables. So it's like, I guess 6 people in one group. Now, I know 9 is the long group, which is table 2, and then table 3 is like 6 again. So all that to say, we did the We Are From, but I did it with a twist this year. This year, what we did is we did the I Am Froms. We had them circulated. People read theirs. We read some out loud. We did definitely do our buddies. So everyone's is heard, regardless if you didn't share it out loud, you still shared it with someone in the classroom. So we did that. But then for the We Are From, I did something different. I had them all sit around and talk about things as a group. So the goal was to share things that we might have remembered or we might know about you, but also to share some things that we don't know about you, and then use that information to try and make a We Are From that will be built upon it for the class to be displayed. So it is hanging up in my room still. It is on the wall for everybody to walk in. So we have like I do Star of the Week also, which is like a big paper as well. So we have those hanging up around the room. And now that we're getting close to the end of the year, it is jam-packed. We have a lot of other different things, but one of the things that I always focus on is making sure that when people come into our room, they know that we're a family. So that's what I always build on, and that was what I usually take away with it. So with that being said, I'm gonna hope that I did this. Right, there we go. So what we did is I did things a little differently. So as you can see, different groups worked in different places. I'm gonna try and can you guys see that? You can see that, right? Okay, cool. So this is what we all were doing. We all sat at different tables. The blue table technically had like 9 people, like I had mentioned. So we talked about who was going to be the writer. It was going to be hanging up. It's on chart paper, so it's going to be hanging up. So when people walk in, rather it's an adult or rather it's a person their age, would they be able to see it? So we were talking about the sight line of making sure that since it's going to be hanging up, how is it going to be presented? So different students. So this is where I'm old. All right. So different students show different strategies. So I took pictures of certain ones, and if you look carefully, you can see the chart paper and how they all took their time. So we didn't just automatically start writing on the chart paper. I always told them like, hey, we don't have resources are tight. We don't have chart paper to just constantly throw away. So the goal is to write it in their book, and you can see it in Casper's book over there. So they all sat down, they all wrote lines in one person's book, and then they discussed how they were going to present it on the chart paper. So once they did, then they were able to, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to go through that. So I did it in different sections. So they all table through two worked at the blue table, and the library area was like another table working. And I just took pictures of it because I thought it was pretty cool to watch them, because some people, they got along very well, as we all know, and there were some people who didn't. So you kind of had to go around and kind of, okay, I get your point, or and I always tell the kids that their voice should be heard through their writing. So of course you had some people saying that's not fair because I'm not being mentioned, so we kind of talked about ways of making sure that we're all included, and then how could we make that work. So it worked out pretty well, because as you can see, they started getting really into it, and everybody was really helpful, and they all worked as a team. So these are,
And hey, Carl, if you hit the arrow on the right, you can see it right now.
Mhm.
It's like to the right. You can
oh,
scroll
you know
through without
what? You
having to
guys are blocking it. Okay, I see it now. Thanks.
see it. All right, yeah, no problem.
All right. So as you can see, I had started this off and I was like, we are from room 13. We are from being the best we can be, which is what others see when we are together. We are a class that's that's a family. We help each other, we have each other's back, we are a squad. Some of us are even called the kind squad. Actually, some of the girls in the room are called that, so we kind of been messing with them, but it's been in a loving way. I said, and here are some ways you will hear our voice as one. So that was mine. So that was the first page that got hung up, and then obviously what they worked on went. I probably cannot read all of that because it's kind of short. So I'm gonna let you read it. I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds to kind of like read through it. But this is the table one, and then they wrote their names at the bottom so that we could see. So you'll see the difference too in the style, because some kids actually have better handwriting than me, and then some of them or don't. So you can kind of get an idea. What I also will do is take pictures on the top so you can see it, and post it. But this is what we had shown once we had finished. I don't know if you can see it, but hopefully I can. I don't know if I can expand it. I don't know. No.
There's a zoom.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Sorry. And then of course up there. That makes it a little better. Sorry.
Yeah, that's good.
So they saying, we are from Amazing? Is that Amazing
Yes.
thing?
We
Uh-huh.
are from
Mm.
Amazing Things,
Things.
so much that we are like a big bucket of excellent. We are from getting so many Hawk Bucks, which is something that we use as this incentive, that we can buy the whole entire Hawk shop. We are from a class and a teacher that is so funny, you can hear us laugh throughout the whole school. We are from the fantastic third grade C.W. Henry. We are from cheesesteak, water ice, hoagies, and all Philadelphia things. We are from having so much something things.
Pride.
Riz.
Oh yeah, thank you.
New
Yeah.
slang.
Yeah, it is, and I'm not good with
Yeah,
it. I'm
okay.
getting old. That people see us, they think that we are imagining or something. I can't remember what that says, and then it says table one, and then they were sharing their thoughts. So this was another one. I'll try and expand it. Sorry, I just did it a second ago. Oh, there we go. Oh no. We are from our family. They give us food, loving family, and good food to live, good place to live, excuse me. We are from Mr. Jackson. He teaches us good stuff and makes us feel like we a family in 113. We are from Five Guys. We all the food place. We all love their fries and their milkshakes. We are Spelling Jeopardy. It's a game we play all the time. It helps us prepare for our spelling test. It also
Very fun.
it's
Very
fun.
fun.
Yeah, we get Hawk Bucks. We are from water slides. It sends us down so fast it sprays wonder in our faces. It gives us a jump scare, and we start at something, but
At
you
the
get what
start
I'm
and the
saying.
end.
Yeah, so again, they were using all kinds of good things that was theirs. Again, this is the continuation of that same group because they weren't so much they were like, we need more. And it says there are so many things that are different about us, but but there are so many things we can agree on and makes us together as one. So as you can see, I think this, oh wait, no, I messed up. I lost one of theirs. What is table 2's is missing, but I'll show it to you another time because I don't know where it is. But as you can see, it's a really good activity because it talks about the class, it builds, community within the class, and then it values what you think. So the goal is you're thinking, you're teaching things and you're trying to get them, but when they actually write it and you see it on the paper, it's like they do get it. So they do have it. All right, we are doing this, or I actually now see that they believe what I'm trying to convey, and it's part of us. So I think that's a really good way of trying to get everything done. So I thought it was a great tool this time, and I hung it up, and it was funny because I was sharing it with my fellow colleagues in my school, and we were talking, and Miss McNeil has a lot of my kids, so does Miss Blunt from last year, but Miss McNeil, I guess, tried to talk about it, and she was like, they said they never did that with you. I'm like, I know. I said I'm trying something different this year. So it was kind of funny because
When we do it.
they try to, she tried to do, I guess, a little bit of what I was doing, but it was just kind of funny. Like, I'm like, I didn't say I did it last year. I said I'm doing it this year. So it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Carl. I think we have time for a couple more, right, Kim?
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
I could share next.
Thanks, Aubrey.
And I see Olivia next too.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Oh no, I was just saying, and then Olivia can go next. I saw she raised her hand at the same time. So
Okay.
take it away, Olivia.
I've been trying to share this for a while, but there have been so many good ideas at our previous meetings. But like Carl, this is from back in December-ish. Bob actually came to observe for one of my classes, or two of my classes with this lesson. So, my gosh, it's been so long since I shared my screen. Oops.
It's funny. I just taught a full virtual class in spring 1, and it was crazy. Like it took a little bit to like get me back in that pandemic mode of how I can do all of the things. So how quickly we forgot.
All right, you guys can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Minimize this. Oops. Okay. I guess I can't put it in present mode. Oh, there we go. What if I do it like that? Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was I focus on the Teen Challenges book. I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and this year I'm a specialist teacher, which is really cool because I have 550 students. So I get to see the whole school and really focus on just creative writing. So that's been such a cool experience for me because it's everything I want to do in the ELA classroom. And I get to work with those ELA teachers who are so academic writing focused. And be able to expose kids to this type of writing too. So I put together this unit through slides, and we worked on it progressively throughout the quarter, all leading to their culminating Teen Challenges writing. So it was kind of like step by step. We did a lot of talking, a lot of sharing to, build that community, especially with this topic and in middle school where, they can make fun of each other for their issues, even when they have similar issues or challenges. So it was really nice and kind of opening that up and watching the kids share more and more. So what they did here is these were the 14 challenges that are listed in the green book. So I organized it on here, and they first went through, and we did this together. So we read each one, and they had the opportunity to place that check mark in that box next to the statement if they felt like that was something that they struggled with currently or in the past. And then afterwards, I gave them some time where they put those bottom stars on their top 3 to 5. These were going to become their writing topics for their final writing. I also shared my own with the students. And then I have them working on this graphic organizer. So where it says the challenge 1, 2, 3, that's where they put in those statements they put stars next to. And then they expanded on those statements, just saying why that's a challenge, how it's impacted you, and just reflecting on those. So brainstorming their writing now. I also gave them an example of mine about keeping secrets, and I related, I talked to them about how some of my challenges that I put on my slide, I thought back to myself when I was their age in middle school, and I also was thinking about myself currently. So I tried to show them that here as well, because being open and kind of letting down your guard with your students and being vulnerable allows them to share more, as we all know. Because they also they see us as human at that point. So then we took 2 examples from the Green Book. We read in partners, and then we discussed those things, then we shared out as a class. Then they took those mentor texts, and we started thinking about a question, and then also doing the they say I am, I say I am. We shared out about those. And then here we did a jigsaw, which I love to do because even though all the students didn't read all 3 journal entries, they still leave that jigsaw with the knowledge of all 3 like they read it. And it gives students the ability to collaborate multiple times and in multiple ways. So 2 of my groups read Journal 28. Let's see if this opens. They read Journal 28. Oh, this is one of the students. And there was questions, different questions for each reading. They put their thoughts. And then as they went around the classroom and met with different people who read different articles, they wrote down the other team's responses. So that was really exciting and fun, and getting them to talk. That was us just redoing that was us traveling for the jigsaw activity. Then they went through for 10 minutes and they chose a journal that stood out to them. In the Green Book, they did independent reading. They reflected on that. We did a campfire turn and talk, I call it. And then we shared out as a class. Sorry, PBIS. I have these helpful links because this was on Google Classroom. So they have the writing rubric for the entire assignment, copy to the Digital Writers Matter book, and then our revision checklist. And then they got into their writing. So I just chose a few students, one from each grade. So this is an 8th grade student who actually, she has very poor attendance. Even when she is in school, she skips most of her classes and doesn't complete much work. This is actually the first time I got her to do something all year long. And she put so much effort into it and is just an absolute incredible writer. In this, she just talks about waking up in the morning. Stop it. She talks about waking up in the morning and just her mental thoughts as she's getting ready. And she goes into extreme detail about it. Like I put on my black Crocs, put deodorant on, perfume, mascara, lip gloss. This one I love. So she's walking to school. I get blown from the left to the right side of the pavement. I don't remember being this light. I walk up to the very doors that open the source of influence I'm exposed to. I hate this place. I can't focus here. I'm bothered by everyone constantly. But without this, I can't achieve any of my goals. Do I even want to take that route with my life? I should just keep moving. It'll come to me. But each time I find myself at the same place, in my room where there's no standard, in my bathroom where I'm someone I don't recognize, outside as a being just trying to find my way through the world, and at school where I let society autopilot my mind, and I go by pretending to be
Wow.
some stranger. Oh, can't see. Stranger my mind has made up. So just absolutely incredible writer. And I just discovered that towards the end of the 2nd quarter. So since then, her and I have been able to, have some sort of relationship, and she's been writing in her journal a lot when she isn't in school, and coming to share that with me. So that's exciting and been able to like open a door to our relationship. This was written by a 6th grader. So it says, living in different worlds with a father so distant, I wonder if we'll ever connect or if our relationship is just non-existent. He's always busy with work and I'm busy with school and friends. We barely have time for each other and it feels like our bond never mends. He doesn't understand my interests and I don't understand his. We're like two ships passing in the night, different worlds that never mix. But I still hold on to hope that one day we'll find common ground and bridge the gap between us so our love and understanding can be found. Until then, I'll keep trying to reach out and make a connection, living in different worlds with my father, but still searching for that special intersection.
Wow.
I was blown away by that, the rhyming too, which I always struggle with poetry. So that was amazing. And then last one was a 7th grader, just this idea of perfection and so much demands from friends, school, siblings, family, feeling that overwhelm and frustration. And also this last line, just never noticing the effect that it plays on me, just always paid attention to the expected. Perfection is always expected. It's always wanted. I thought that was a really powerful ending. But the students really did such a great job with these. And I've done teen challenges in the past where, you know, we've just looked at some things in the book and then I kind of just let them go to it. But this, I think, just having it scaffolded little by little, allowing them to talk as a whole group, me sharing and being open and real with them, it produced such better writing, especially with this topic than I've seen in the past. Just because I think we did so much work up to this point and they already had all of their topics in their mind and things like that. So it was a really big success. So if anyone wants those slides too, I feel like we have a folder. Stop it, Romeo. I feel like we have a folder, right, that I can drop it in. So if anyone
Yes.
wants those, you could definitely use them.
Can I just add something? Thanks, Aubrey, for
Yeah, no
sharing that. As she mentioned when she started, I was there for a couple of the lessons, and it was amazing to watch the interaction and the kids' ability to respond to in very personal ways. It was just amazing. That's why the writing was so good, because the conversation letting up and the kids mentored were modeled for the other kids. So I think as a result, you got all this personal stuff coming out from many of the classes. Also, Aubrey, do you have that video of the actual lesson?
Yes. You didn't get it?
No, I did get it. I did. The reason I'm saying we had the kids video it and it was edited. So if anybody wants to see it in action, we could probably make that available too. I think it's a great lesson for you as teacher leaders to share with some of your other teachers, especially in the 6th through 8th. Probably can use it for 5th and grade as well, where you could bring it down to the lower levels. But it was an amazing lesson, and you can see the result by the writing. So thank you, Aubrey.
You're welcome. And it even opened up, like, just, you know, when Bob came, the first thing that we did was that checklist slide. And right after we did that, I didn't make kids do a turn and talk because it was so fresh and new. So I just said, if you feel comfortable, raise your hand if you also put not belonging. And kids would, you know, some hands here, but some of them right up. And I would say, look around the room. All right, put your hands down. So it just kind of showed like, oh, wow, like I fight with this kid all the time, but he feels the way I feel. So right off the bat, even though it was silent, it was successful. So
I'm going to tell you, a couple of times I wanted to raise my hand, tell everybody how I was feeling.
Kellyanne, what is the best way? Because this is really powerful stuff, and I know some other teachers have said, yes, I want it. What's the best way for Aubrey to get?
Oh, am I unmuted? Can you hear my dog the whole time? I'm really sorry. I didn't realize that. I'm looking for the folder. I'm looking for it as we speak for what she wants, and then I'm gonna drop it in the chat. I'm looking for it.
Okay, and then she can just put it right into that folder.
Yep.
Perfect. And then
Yep.
if you have that video, again, it'll just go in this folder, so it'll only be for Writers Matter teachers. It won't go on the website. That would be more open.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Wow. Great
Yeah,
writing.
that was really amazing. And I wrote down a quote from that first writing that you shared from the student that you said had poor attendance, and like what a powerful data point for just all the conversation I'm sure that's happening around that student on ways to engage the student and all the concerns and red flags and all the labels I'm sure she's getting as a high flyer, et cetera. But to see how she clearly can communicate how she's feeling and some of the concerns she has, really great source, I think, of empowerment for her too in the future if she can continue to hone that skill of writing. And you also mentioned something that I wanted to give you a shout out for. You said this modeling, being vulnerable and sharing how you felt as a middle schooler. That was, I think, I wasn't there, but I can imagine that was a great door opener for even just the idea of like, raise your hand if you feel like belonging was something for you. Just the fact that you were so vulnerable to your students. I just want to give you a shout out, but also vulnerable, but also didn't cross any boundaries, at least from what I saw. 'Cause I know that's come up before in our conversations about this kind of like SEL/writing work, but I just wanted to give you a shout out for that because that was really very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Olivia.
Hello. Sorry, we're having an open house. So there's like people randomly walking by and popping in and so I do apologize. And now we got music playing. I don't know where it's coming. I don't know what's happening. So so it's actually funny when I realized that this meeting was today, I was like, I feel like we've done nothing. But then I sat down, I was like, actually we've done quite a few things. So we did the which hand would I be for Black History Month? And honestly, I said to the kids, I was like, listen, I said, I know for those of you who were here last year, you already did this, but you have grown since last year. So don't just take your essay from last year and copy it. Because I know I've read them, so I'll know. So it was actually amazing how much they grew as writers from last year to this year. And like some of them even wrote, last year I picked Ruby Bridges, but now that I'm getting older, I realize I'm more like Malcolm X. I'm more willing to speak out for injustices in the world than I was last year. So just looking at their writing from this year to last year, it was so impressive. Like I was very proud of them for their writing. And then what we also did was I had them write a Where I'm From poem about a historic figure. And even for those, they had to do some research and everything like that. And it went really, really well. And then lastly, they write in their journals all the time. And if any of you are feeling, oh, sorry, real quick. There's someone, oh, it's the same person they already saw. So hello again. If any of you are feeling the way I'm feeling, and based on the way some of us were when we first logged on, I think you're feeling the same way as me. Hello. They wrote in their journals and they had to write what a person that influenced them the most since they've been here. And the one girl, she did write about me, and I needed it because I've just been feeling this past month has been awful. Like it's been really bad. So I just want to read what she wrote. She just wrote, I know you're going to be reading this, so I'm writing this as if I'm talking to you, not just because I know you're going to read it, but you're the best teacher I've had you're the best teacher I've ever had. And every day, even when I don't want to come to school, I just imagine your class, your corny jokes, your funny stories. It motivates me to come to school every day, and I genuinely thank you. You're such a nice, genuine, bubbly person, and I just want you to know that you do inspire kids, especially me. So I thank you. So just after having such like bad experiences lately, seeing that, I'm sorry, wasn't expecting that. Just seeing that, and I was like, you know what? I think some other people might need to hear that. Like, even when we don't think we're doing well, we're doing something for someone. And I just wanted to share that with all of you, and hopefully it'll help inspire you to get you through whatever it is you are doing next.
That was incredible. And you're so right. I think everyone needed to hear that because some days you feel like that you're not doing anything. Just like you even said, I didn't think we did anything. And then when I sat down and reflected, you just said 3 awesome things that, you've been working on and You know, so I think we sometimes don't give ourselves enough credit with that, so.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Can I
Great.
share?
Yes, please.
All right. So, Olivia, you're not alone. This week has been really rough for me. And it's only Wednesday.
Yeah.
But very similar to what Olivia did for the month of for February. We did which hand are you? And here is what ours look like. Slideshow. All right. I will minimize. There we go. Well, most of you guys already know it, so I'll just go through the slides and I'll get to my kids' work. But I did have them actually go and do it. Most of my kids said that, I'm not sure, Mr. Jackson, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they had no objection to doing it last year. So we did it. And here's like the example, where I always provide them with, if it's like a already provided activity, I provide them with the example that the activity gave. And then the written example of what it should look like. And then I allowed my kids to, I'm gonna move this out of the way, to be free with how they wanted their work to look. This is Mason. I would like to be Malcolm X's hand because I want to raise my fist and make a difference in life. My first reason, I would be a good person like Malcolm X since he is a cool person like me. My second reason, I would be able to raise it's supposed to say a fisted like Malcolm, like pie, because he is nice like me, cool like me, and smart like me. My third reason, I would be raising a fisted like a builder because I like to build, and it is because a good person, because it is a good reason, since Malcolm X must have cut off his thing, picked, as you can see, I would be a great person since I picked Malcolm X. Mason is often a person who he fidgets a lot, and sometimes needs some redirection. He's a great kid, smart kid, but some kids fidget more than others, and we're working through our fidgeting. And he doesn't necessarily like to write. He likes math. Writing is not his thing, and he will tell me, I don't want to write. I don't like to write, but he does very well. I'm trying to identify this by the handwriting. Ruby, it looks like Shozo, but oh no, this is Tyler. Tyler is one of my gifted students. What type of hand would I be? I would be holding a book ready to change the world. My first reason why I would be holding a book ready to change the world, like Ruby, is that I like to learn and read just like her. My second reason why I would be holding a book ready to change the world, like Ruby, is that I am not really like Martin, James, or Malcolm, because they're all leaders and I'm not. My last reason why I would be holding a book ready to change the world like Ruby is that I want to have an impact on the next generation when I'm older. And so granted, I did provide them with sheets of different types of hands that they could draw around, but he chose to create his own, which was great to show his creativity. I think I might have one more. Lake decided to keep it on this paper. She didn't want to do a hand, which was fine. What type of hand would I be? I am the type of hand that would be drawing on a art book because I love drawing and art. My first reason why and how I like art, because art is what expresses me most. My second reason I would be about my arts, like art and crafts. Is there a point of making them? No, but it is for fun. So she loves art. She's in Lake is in band. She plays an instrument and she's on choir and she was in our musical. that we just had. So she's very talented in that way. My third reason I would be how my family supports, like liking my art and is supporting my art by giving it compliments. It makes me happy when they like my art and drawings. As you can see, I will be drawing like Kara Walker. And that's it. But I was trying to get kids to think outside of the box with what they would want to be, and that they didn't necessarily have to be exactly like the people that were from the slides, but I did have them complete it in its entirety of they learned about the person, they watched the videos that were attached to them, and then on the last slide it asks, what did you learn? And so some people, they learned really good, interesting facts that are not often spoken about those four people, which I think my kids really were able to learn about.
That's great. Thank you for sharing, Kelly.
Yeah. I love hearing about like the same lesson, but done in different classrooms with different age kids. And it's just neat to see how it can go in different directions. So that's really cool. I think, how about one more person? Yeah, Tracy, and then we'll announce the writing contest. And then if there's time at the end, we can always go back. So Tracy, go ahead.
All right. First of all, thank you all for the great ideas. This is like always so wonderful. So everybody did the skin I'm in, but I have just recently taken over a 6th grade classroom where Miss Corbin had surgery, and I kind of got thrown in. And we've said you can't teach the kids if you don't know them. So I thought this is a good segue for me getting to know them. And they open up like, it just floors me every time. So I'll just share a couple samples because you never know. And I mean, 6th graders, honestly, they talk about farting. Like, oh, that's what I go into the classroom and they just want to talk about farting. So, and you can kind of get more to a little bit deeper. This. All right, so I think we can see this is Sonia. She's brand new to us from Turkey, like a total newcomer. She doesn't speak any English. And we did the skin I'm in, and I showed them the video from like the pandemic, and the young girl speaking about how people are perceived by just their looks really resonated with her. So she got like really deep. She just translated all of this herself. Some stupid people think that children can become brides. So this was her perception of the skin I'm in. Like she really took it to how a woman is. So what is a woman? Is it an item for sale or a slave? Let me tell you, women are human beings just like men. Just as men have rights, women also have rights. So it just obviously struck a nerve with her. I thought she did a great job. And then we have Emil, who is such a challenging behavior. And I think Bob met him last year. We tried to get him as part of the interviews and he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't participate. And when he's in class, he barely sits down, and he's just a super talented writer. So this is Emil's work. I'm Emil Alston, encouraging, goofy, funny kind. The skin I'm in is chocolate. The scars on my surface remind me of 4 of my friends are dying. In my brown eyes, I see my right hand homie bleeding out in my hands. When you look in my eyes, you see a hurt kid like a burning bridge. In my frown, you see flashbacks from my worst memories. Live, laugh, love, learn. From my lips, I say, I wish the best to the homeless. People outside me think I'm athletic because they see me play all the time. In my skin, I feel emotional scars from the fallen angels. The real me is confident, encouraging, antisocial, hurt, all at the same time. And that's the skin I'm in.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Wow.
And it's the same, like the same thing that just resonates with so many kids and gets so much out of them.
Mhm.
And I think does so much for them. So it's just wonderful. And it's been a godsend for me in this 6th grade classroom.
Yeah.
Can I just add something? The student I had worked with a couple times. I tried to work with him anyway because I wanted him to do something with the wondering book I was doing.
Yep.
And you could sense his brightness, and he was just, I guess the best word to use is like he was slightly damaged in some way,
Yep.
emotionally. But evidently this thing got it all out. I mean, that was an amazing piece of writing for this kid who, you know, I could get him to talk about other things, but nothing to do with what I wanted. And all of a
Right.
sudden he's focused now. So it just tells you that there's so many gems hidden in these kids. And you just got to find the right one, the right activity, get it out. So,
Yes.
kudos to you, Trace, for doing it. And I don't know whether to congratulate you or condole you for being in the classroom, but whatever it is.
But you know, what you opened up by saying is you can't teach them anything unless you know them. And like
Yeah.
you understanding that most important piece and kind of setting that up in your classroom is ultimately, I think, what brought this kind of writing out. So that's awesome.
I bet your days go quicker too, don't they?
My goodness, yes.
Kim, I know you said there's only one more, but do you have time to hear what I have to share?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to go to you. Anne, did you have a question or something you wanted to say? And then we'll go to
No,
Lori.
I just wanted to share one
Can you
thing.
tell them I'm here with?
Okay. So I saw Lori's hand first. So let's do Lori and then we'll go to Anne and then we'll do the writing contest. Because I
Okay. So I'm kind of like in the same boat that Aubrey's in, except I'm having, more challenges with the lack of teachers, of us getting teachers. So I was pulled from the writing specialist position a lot. But when I did get a chance to meet with the students, just from the very beginning of introducing the program to them, and I shared with them that this is really all about them. And there's no way you cannot love being in my class because it's all about you. So I kind of hyped it up that it's really just about them. And anytime we're together, that's what we're writing about. So I have, I would like to share it, but I don't know if I remember how to do that. Let me see. Talk, share screen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
share screen.
We're all
All
learners.
right, I'm gonna do that. All right, then it says share here. Share, open. I don't know what's going on. Oh. No, you're gonna have to, do you see anything?
No.
No.
Not yet.
Not
Okay,
yet.
let me go back. Share screen here. Desktop. Do I click desktop?
Yeah, if it's on your desktop and that's.
Click it.
Mhm.
I click that, share. Then it says open system preferences. That. It says allow Zoom to share your screen.
Uh-huh.
And then it says cancel, and next to it says open system preferences.
If you have a newer Mac, you have to go to your system preferences and allow sharing to happen through Zoom.
Okay, so I'm in my system preferences, and then there's a whole list of everything here, like my location, context.
Once you use Zoom.
Zoom is over here.
And then
Maybe
click on Zoom and then see if it says
that.
allow screen sharing.
Zoom will not be able to record the content. That's not it. Okay. All right. Well, how about if I just read? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
If I just read to you?
You can also email it and then we can go to Anne, then we can come back to it if you wanted to show it. But if reading is fine too.
Okay, so let me just read it. So this first one that I'm going to read is an I am from. This is from a 7th grade student. His name is Matthew. So Matthew Morales, and he writes, I am sometimes scared of myself. As I have some fears, I am scared of high places and thin air. I'm afraid of not speaking and not being able to use my body, even if I'm alive. I'm afraid of the upcoming tragedy that is the fate of death. which everything is going to experience. And I hate that I will die soon. I am afraid. I am from different shoes than you, and that will always be the case. We are from different worlds, different families, different lives. No one really cares about others that are not close to them, or they just act or want to be good people who help. I am not one of those people. I am just a little boy with no understanding of the real world. I do not know how to cook, manage taxes, etc. I am from my own life, and so are you. I love myself so much as I don't care what other people think about me. I am white, Spanish, and Italian from one family. I am adopted, and some people joke about it, but I don't care. I love everything about me. I love the fact that I wear glasses. I love the fact that mostly everywhere I go, I'm happy. And I am from a tiny place in a big world. So that's my 7th grade Matthew. The second one that I wanted to share with you is from a boy named Damien. He's also a 7th grader, and his is the skin I'm in. And Damien writes, I am Damien. I am impulsive, unwise, knowledgeable, and weak. The skin I'm in is pale and thin, scratches and burns etched in the surface. The surface scars remind me of accidents or memories, both despaired and graced. In my brown-colored eyes, I see acts of treachery, redemption, exemplary, and everything in between, like the difference between water to ice to fire. In my smile are the joys of others and the world around, spring and showers, spirals of prosperity, and the shimmering grace of others. From my lips, I say nothing to everything and everything to nothing. People outside me think I am impulsive, foreign, and unwise. Inside my skin is a pile of everything you can think of. My skin is not always the real me. The real me is overthinking, unconfident, and overwhelmed. Someday I might love the skin I'm in. There is nothing to tell from if there is nothing to tell if I will or will not. So that's my 7th grader, Damien. And I just have one more I want to share. And this is a 7th grade girl. Her name is Adelawit. And Adelawit writes, the skin I'm in. I am Adelawit. I am a good actor, funny, kind, and hardworking. The skin I'm in is amazing. The scars on the surface remind me of the time I burned my hand on a hot stove. In my dark chocolate eyes, I see my beautiful brother and mother and auntie, like a beautiful cloud after a rainy night. In my frown, I feel depressed and lonely due to my friends not coming to school. So due to that, I have a frown on my face till the end of the day. From my lips, I say, Palestine will be free one day. People outside of me think I'm a rude person, but that's really never the case. In my ears, I hear laughter, shouting, and crying. Inside my skin, I feel sad and mostly never understood. The real me is funny, kind, really hype. This is the skin I'm in. So I just wanted to share those with you. Again, really just like everyone was saying, the kids really like to write, even though they don't know they like to write. They're good writers when they have the opportunity to write something that is not from a response from a text, that they are, forced to read something and then write something and cite evidence and compare and contrast. But if you just give them that opportunity to just express themselves and say what's on their minds about, just about themselves or about their family and their world, I think we get so much from our kids. We get to see a bigger picture and a bigger, better picture of who our kids are. So thank you for letting me share.
Oh, sure.
Thank you for sharing.
sharing.
Yeah.
All right. And Anne, go ahead.
Okay. So I just wanted to say that we had our Black History celebration on the on the 29th of February on Leap Day. And it's always fantastic. And it's it's our whole school performance. We've got singing and dancing and drumming and an orchestra with 100 kids in it and a band, and it's so incredible. But and all those amazing things happening, one of the things that people always look forward to are the poems, the Writers Matter poems, because we do fourth grade for this show. We do they do like a riddle, like they give the clues, and then Miss Williams says, like, who do you think it is? And the audience yells out, Barack Obama, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then it's fun because we go fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and as it gets older, it's fun for the audience and the parents and everybody to see what a growth we have in our school from being 9 to being 13. So I wanted to just, there was one little girl, and her name is Sahara, and she, I asked her to read, and she said, I'll do it for the rehearsal. And I said, oh, okay, that sounds good. And she said, and then when we finished the rehearsal, she said, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, well, I think that you will do it. And it's, people want to hear your poem. She's like, no, well, I think maybe. I'm like, no, I'll see you up there. And just like bullied her into reading her poem, and she got tremendous applause. And I just wanted to live another day. So I'm not going to mess around with that sharing, because I know I can't do it. So this is Sahara Jackson, and and we do these poems that are, we read the book, the Jacqueline Woodson book, Showway, and we talk about where we fit in that history, like who is important in our history and what events happened in our history and our family history that made us who we are. And so this is Sahara's, just because I want to hear it one more time. I'm from my grandmother's passed down, their history left out and forgotten, from my life being their dream, to the lives being a once upon a time to me, from the women who taught me well, to Rosa and Condoleezza inspiring me, the chains on my arms and legs, maybe they remind me of something so familiar. I'm from looking up at my ancestors, then down at my unknown future beneath me. I'm from not knowing what to think about my history to thinking everything about it. I look back at the harsh history behind me, so far, yet so close. I'm from the sound of gunshots. I'm from someone who stared at the colored bathroom sign, then at the whites. I'm from a war. If it didn't happen, where would I be now? I'm from slaves passed down from generation to generation. I may be quiet, but my history is loud. I am Black.
Wow.
Wow.
Right? It was worth bullying her, right?
That needs to be heard.
It needs to be heard. I thought it was really wonderful. She's 10, and she wrote that beautiful poem. I think that's pretty incredible. So, Eileen's here with me. I don't.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of booking a trip for the 8th graders, and it took longer than expected.
So, but we just wanted to brag about our show, and we had a really great performance from everybody, and it was just wonderful. So, we've got a spring show coming up. We'll let you know.
Yes, do.
Trent, I heard you met my mom.
I did. Very nice woman.
She said, Eileen, I met this really nice guy, Trent, and how come you didn't tell me about Andre? I said,
I was bragging about how I was just there seeing Andre perform and all the great Writers Matter stuff that was happening at Moore. So it was nice. Yeah, it was a cool connection.
yeah, she was your greeter.
Oh,
Especially like being
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Sure,
she met him at the front desk, and she goes, my daughter does this program.
Sure does. Thanks for letting us brag.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, what a night. I feel like Trent, is it me, but like this is leading into this writing contest in
Yeah.
such a way. So let me
Perfect.
just jump into it. Did somebody want to say something? Okay, sorry, I thought I heard somebody. So, I mean, every time we meet, you all share incredible writing, but tonight, I don't know, like the pieces that were shared today were just incredible all around from every single one of you. And so, um, you know, we're kind of inspired by this idea of, you cannot help a student write better if they don't have a piece of writing to begin with, right? And that's what Writers Matter is all about, is helping them to just get something down on paper, right? Whether it's Aubrey and all that talking and videos and all the steps that you took to get them to be ready to write, or the modeling that Carl did, or that Lori did, or Tracy did, to help them know that their voice really mattered. And even the thanks that Olivia got tonight for all that work that they put in. And so today, kind of thinking of in this vein, our writing contest theme is a little bit like a no theme. And so rather than me explaining, I'm just going to go through and read this to you. It says, this year's writing contest is about revision. With this focus, students must reflect on pieces of writing they have already written and perhaps re-see it in another way. They may create a new piece of writing based on a previous piece. They may revise a piece of writing they have written earlier in the year, or change the modality that was previously used. Students are encouraged to be creative. So the theme is your wonderful, beautiful, magical ideas, revisiting your writing. So you've been writing all year in Writers Matter. Some pieces you loved and others may not have been very satisfying. Here's your opportunity to take a look back at a piece you would like to reimagine and submit for the writing contest. Students are welcome to submit any piece of writing on any topic that is important to them. Students should choose a piece of writing and reflect on what it says about them as a writer, or how it helps them to see how they have grown throughout the year as a writer. In addition to submitting a final piece, students must include a brief reflection about that describes why they submitted this piece. So some things that a student might want to think about in preparing for the writing contest. You may want to submit a piece of writing you've already wrote and explain why you loved this piece so much. What makes this a good piece of writing to you? And maybe it's because of all the applause that she got when she shared it, right? But really taking that opportunity to reflect on, I'm so proud of this piece, and this is what makes it so good, and this is why I'm proud of it, right? Take a piece of writing that you already created and change it in some way for the better. Submit the new piece of writing and explain what changes you made to that piece that helped you demonstrate your ideas in a new way. Maybe you have a piece of writing that was about something special to you, and you now want to make that idea, take that idea in a new direction. Maybe you want to change a poem into a story, or a story into a song, or a song into a digital story. The skies are the limit. Be creative. Artwork or digital compositions are fine too. Is there a topic that you liked writing about? When you look back at your journal, do you see that you've written about the same thing many different times in many different ways? Can you pull all of those ideas together into one piece? And so we said here that a useful companion reading for this is Love That Dog. And if you're familiar with it, the boy, he's just writing all year. And there's all these little snippets, and then finally at the end it all comes together and we realize the real story behind his dog and what happened. So does your writing represent growth in your writing journey? How so? And they could write about that. So these are just a few ideas to get you started, but you can take your writing in another direction. The most important thing for this year's contest is appreciating your own writing and revising it so that it is ready for you to share with the world. So I will stop there for a second and just see, does anyone have any questions or thoughts or comments about this? Okay. And if you do, you can come back to it. So as in the past, we will have two categories, our like younger elementary and then our middle school. And there will be prizes for each of those categories. We are asking that you as teachers pick your top 3 winners to submit to us. I know that's a challenge, but we're even more challenged by everybody's great pieces of writing coming together. So, please submit these to us, and that'll have all of those in there. Actually, did we create the file yet? Trent, I know you were,
Yes.
okay, that's in there.
So that
Okay.
the 2 through 5th grade submissions and 6 through 9th, it's a link. So once they have the document, if you click on that link, it'll take you to a folder where you can drop your 2 to 3 or your final submissions.
So in the past, we've had you email them, and we've had it this way. There's file there already. So you'll just click on each of those and submit those. If they create a video or a digital story, you may submit the link in the folder. Art, digital or hand-drawn, only if the art is related to an original piece of writing. So we do want the art to be representative of a piece of writing in some way. So do make sure that there's that link. Include the following information. So make sure we have the student's name, email address, school, and your name. If you can have that on each piece, that's really important because it helps us to keep track of who submitted what so that we don't lose track. And then we have all of the information for submissions. All finalists, winners will be digitally published on the Writers Matter website and a newsletter. So we will send permission slips to the winners before we publish them. And I think on here, our due date is April 26th for those pieces of writing. Lori, I think I see you talking, but you're on mute.
I think, I don't know, PSSA was going through my head when I saw April 26th, and I'm just trying to figure out, is this going to be enough time for us, since I think it start, anyone know the exact date we start and finish the PSSAs?
We start around the 26th.
And we're done May, I don't know, after the first week, fourth grade, second week, I think.
Okay.
I feel like
Sorry.
it's April. Oh wait.
That's the only issue. Well, I mean, for me, it's not an issue, but maybe for regular teachers doing like
What would work better?
writing prep and crap like that.
Actually, I think it's
What would
April
work better?
I mean, I'm thinking maybe more like in May, but I didn't realize they even go as far as the PSSAs are extended to May. What is that, like makeup time or something?
Fourth grade does science.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
4th and 8th are doing science through May.
I don't know.
so when does that all end?
I believe May 3rd is I know it's May 3rd because I was trying to hook up with Trent and try and do something like a retreat kind of thing. And I was told I can't go anywhere because the PSSA is that last day and we aren't allowed to go anywhere or do anything. So I think the last day is May 3rd. But me personally, I like the date of April 26th only because I feel like I want the kids to have it done before the PSSA. And I know, I mean, some of the things I usually do in my classes, we do things as a group, but we also do things creatively on their own. So it was more or less trying to get things, acclimated to kids to try and get as much. And then of course, obviously the submission piece comes in for us. So I mean, for me, that date works. I'm not saying that, to not change it. I'm just saying that I feel like that's a date that's doable because we come back April 1st and then we still have those half days that week. So we can kind of like introduce it. My thought would be to introduce it during those half days, kind of get a little gist going on and getting them to get started, and then they still have like 3 weeks before, or yeah, almost 3 to 4 weeks before we would have to submit it.
Mhm.
Most people's regular schedule, I just looked up, should resume like May 6th. Like it should be over by. But it doesn't matter. I mean, I just know for homework, I don't know. Obviously, I have a different position. I just know homeroom teachers are doing a lot of writing prep, but if people aren't on here, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, the good news is the people
Whatever
who
the
don't
date is,
submit,
I'll,
it gives
I'll figure it
gives
out.
our classes more of a chance to win. Sorry, I'm just throwing it out there.
No, you don't want to put the fourth grade at a disadvantage.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Let me look at the calendar. I mean, my main thing is that we want to make sure that we have time to get them all in,
Mhm.
and we have
Look
time
at them.
to look at them and get the winners out before the school year comes to an end. So that's super important. I don't know why I can't find I'm just gonna stop sharing for a second so I can find my calendar. So, and the other thing is I don't want to feel like, because I know, although maybe it's a nice thing to kind of work it, like, would May 10th be late enough, or like a May 17th?
I mean, personally, I like May 17th, but I don't know, is that going to give you enough time? And Carl, you can still get yours done in April if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, people can submit them whenever.
Yeah,
Does
as a fourth grade teacher, I would think that the May, either date in May will be fine. Just to be, in all honesty, just to give my students this like that mental break of not necessarily having that utensil in their hand, and trying to bring back real in my classroom joy. Because we are gearing up for it, and they are like, so are we turning our desk into rows yet? I'm like, not yet, but we're going to do it this week. So yeah, I think that time in May would be awesome for us.
Mhm. Well, and hopefully that could be a nice way to bring that joy back, like to look, because hopefully they're going to find pieces that gave them joy, right? Pieces that, they felt good about, and give them that opportunity. I mean, I'm okay with May 17th. Bob, Trent, do you think that's doable? Well, and Leslie,
I
we'll
think
just
it's
have to,
doable. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll just go into overdrive. Okay,
Okay.
but it's probably going to be a hard date. We know we always get the lingering pieces in a week or two later. So no, so
Can I
truly,
just make
will-
one suggestion?
Yeah.
What happens if we if we do a compromise here, like maybe May 13th after the weekend? I mean, I don't know whether that helps out the younger grades or not. I am getting a little concerned with the like things come in, and we got and you're also doing the PD training during that time too.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there whether or not it,
Two
you
different
know,
dates, Bob?
I was suggesting like maybe like like a Monday, May 13th. If we have a deadline there, like that's an extra, it's kind of like in between. It's kind of a major compromise, and it seems like it'll give us a whole extra week. And but those of you that really thought it was a problem, can you work with that?
Yes, I can.
So why don't we go with May 13th then? And
Okay.
and that
That's a
and that,
good compromise.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will add that to the handout. So May 13th is the date. And so probably tomorrow, I will send out an email to our whole list of
Right.
everybody. I will include the video from tonight, and I will also include that write-up about the contest, so that you have it.
Good.
And just like always, use it as you want, right? If you want to take one of those prompts and introduce it to your students, if you want to give them all of them, that, you know, you as the teacher gets to decide. But, you know, what we want you to hear loud and clear is there's no set topic that we're looking for, right? We just want the student's best piece of writing that they've written, and, you know, kind of looking for just that little reflection with it of like either what made this so good, or why did I return to this piece and make some changes, and now I think it's even better. So so that's what we're looking for. So any other questions or comments in regard to that? Okay, we had a few other things, but they are not nearly as important because your sharing today was so great. So just a reminder, our final regular meeting for the year is going to be on April, I have it written down. Where'd it go? Trent, help.
April 17th.
April 17th. Okay, I thought 7th, then I was like, no, I'm thinking of the writing contest. So April 17th. So I will send out another Zoom link for that, and then we will be having our May workshops like we've done in the past. If anyone is new, we do 4-week workshops. Each will be themed, and so they will start on May 7th. And so it'll be one a week through the month of May. So more information will come about that, but just wanted to give you a heads up if that is something you might be interested in for this year. And otherwise, I know that we are heading into the end of the year. It may still be early for this, but if anyone's doing any kind of celebrations or, you know, different activities like that, please let us know, because we love to come out and see that. And I encourage you to think about it if it's not something that you have, and certainly save it for after PSSAs. Maybe even you use the writing contest as something that, you know, you could have some kind of a showcase with your class. It's a great way to get other teachers to notice what you're doing and maybe encourage them to get involved with Writers Matter. It's a great way for the students themselves to have another audience, to feel good. It's a great way to bring parents in to showcase what students are doing, show off to your administrators how awesome you are. And you know, so keep that in mind. And we do have some funds to help support some of those events as well. So if you just let us know, you know, with an approximate estimate of what it will cost, we can help with that. So it is 6:03. I am cognizant that we are 3 minutes over, so I do want to stop there. I want to thank you all for your time and your energy and your sharing. It was absolutely wonderful, and I'll look forward to seeing you all soon. Have a good night, everyone.
Kim, on the meeting on April 17th, what's the time?